Hi everyone. It looked like my video was making a lot of different colors and things like that. So I thought maybe we just try this again for a minute. So if anybody's trying to jump on and you want to jump back on, go right ahead. So I'm Jill Lorenz with Summit Resilience Training, and I also host a radio show called Dementia Resilience with Jill Lorenz. And tonight on my live video chat, I wanted to talk about triggers and the trigger meters that we often use as caregivers that we don't understand is making our loved one anxious. So to give you an example, what the trigger meters are is, it reminds me a little bit like of a carnival game where you hit the bottom of the bell with a big mallet and it pops up to the top. If we looked at a trigger meter as that, so it's 1 to 10 and it makes people anxious from 1 to 10, it would make a little bit more sense to us. So what I'm thinking about is that the triggers often make people more anxious than what we need them to be. So one of the questions I got tonight was a person named Lou had asked me about having her mom come into the kitchen when her dad was her husband is trying to cook. And she's always trying to touch the stove and she touches the hot burners. And it's really, really difficult for them to try to cook. So she was wanting to know, what can I do about that? So Lou, here's my answer. I think what you should try to do is either keep your mom busy before dinner and also make her calm and content as you can, and try to see if when you bring her into the kitchen, someone accompanies her. And I would like to see that maybe you involve her in trying to fix dinner. So for example, if you're making a meatloaf, let her throw a couple of ingredients in and so forth, and do your best to let her have a little part of how dinner is being made. And when your husband looks at her and says, "Mom, you need to get back, you're going to get burned. You're going to get burned if you don't get back," she gets upset. That trigger meter goes up from 1 to 2 or 3 or 4. And then she gets angry and she will start to throw things at him and hit him. And that is because that trigger meter is going up, up, up. So instead of getting anxious with her and saying, "You need to move away, you're going to get burned," she doesn't understand that. Very calmly say, "If you'd like to help me stir this, Mom, let's put on a couple of hot pads on our hands and let's go ahead and let her stir it, but very carefully with cueing skills that you help her so she does not get burned." Another thing you can do is you can ask her if she could help you by setting the table, maybe pulling out a couple of plates, pulling out the utensils that you're going to use and setting the table, but including her in the process. "Mom, could you help me pour some drinks here and get the table ready? And let's go over and see what's going on at the stove. Stand here with me and let's look at it." That's a lot easier and it brings that trigger meter down as opposed to having him get upset with her and yell at her and have her move out of the way. So Lou, I hope that helps. Try a couple of those things and see if those techniques work for you. Okay, I had Marcia ask me a question about the fact that her husband always wants to buy things that he doesn't need. He's got a lack of impulse control. And so what he's trying to do is get her to just drop what she's doing and go to the store and buy something. Like, for example, he wanted some computer parts the other night while she was trying to fix dinner. And Marcia said, "I don't know how to tell him no. In 50 years of marriage, I've never had to tell him no. But I was getting very upset with him because he kept asking me. And we don't have the money to spend." So Marcia, again, this is one of those trigger meters where if you're telling him, "We can't go to the store right now, honey, I'm cooking. Can't you see that I'm cooking?" that trigger meter goes up. I know we don't mean to do that, Caregiver Nation. We don't need to mean to lose our temper with our loved ones. But what you can do is say, "Tell me what it is you want to buy. How does it work on your computer? Are you sure we don't have one of those in our office? Why don't you go and check in the drawers? I think we have that piece that you need for your computer. And the good thing about the short-term memory being lost for our loved ones is that they will forget what they wanted to do. They'll go in the office, look for the piece that they're looking for, and may forget that they wanted to go to the store. But if he doesn't and he comes back and he still wants to go to the store, Marcia, what I'd like you to do is just say, tell me more. How would this piece work? Can you help me with dinner? If you help me with dinner, maybe we could go to the store